Welcome to Door Decor by Laurie. In this video, you'll learn how to make this chic, luxurious rose gold wreath with a pearl and jeweled center. This wreath would make a great anniversary gift, a Mother's Day gift, something for a bridal or baby shower. I'll have a list of all the supplies that you need below in the comments, and I'll also have a link to my Etsy shop where this wreath is available for purchase. Okay, let's get started. Okay, today I'm going to show you a little bit of a different technique. We're going to fuse the poly burlap, which is our white, and I've got rose gold Deco mesh on top. And we're going to cut these with a wood burner to make the petals. And when we cut them, it fuses them together because, right, they're plastic. I'm sure if you pulled hard enough you could undo it, but as you can see that they're, it's fused together, the edges. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to cut this. You're going to lay the rose gold over top of the white poly burlap. And they're both 10 inches, but for whatever reason, the rose gold seems to be a little bit, slightly wider than the 10 inches, but that's okay. So we're going to take our wood burner, and we're just going to go slightly slower than what we normally would do, just to make sure that everything gets fused. But you're just going to take your wood burner, and you're going to go down the 10-inch mark. And just hold it, and we're going to go all the way down. And don't forget, when you have your wood burner, you have to have your piece of glass cutting board underneath so that you don't burn your mat. But what we're going to need for this wreath, and as you can see, I should show you that got fused together. So what we're going to need for this wreath is we're going to need 30 petals. So I'm going to go ahead and finish cutting the burlap and mesh together, and then I'll come back and show you what's next. Okay, I'm back, and I've cut all of my poly burlap with the Deco mesh over top, and as you can see, it's all attached at the ends, and that's what I really like. And this is just such a pretty combination. I don't know if the video will do it justice, but so what we're simply going to do, we're going to make a simple petal. We're going to make this wreath on an 8-inch wreath form. Now, most of my wreath forms I get at Craft Outlet or Hobby Lobby or any craft place like this. This one I got at Dollar Tree. So most of the wreath forms have a 4th wire. But I think that'll be fine with this. We'll just end up doing maybe 2 rows of petals on the mesh. Now what I always do is, for almost all of my wreaths, is I use this mesh. What I do is I trace the outside of the inner ring on the mesh, and I cut it out and I attach it with little zip ties. And so let's get started with the petals. So what we're going to do is take the mesh and the folded side up, and what we're going to do is meet in the middle, and we are simply going to scrunch it up. Now this is a little thicker than your normal just poly burlap or Deco mesh, so I think it'll keep the petals shaped nice. So what we're going to do is, once we have our bow tie, we're simply going to kind of push the right side up and bring the left side over, and we want to bring the one petal kind of over top of the other, like that. And you just kind of get it how you want it, and then that's what you want your petal to look like. And as I always do, I'm going to get 8-inch zip ties, and I'm going to make all my petals first before I attach them to the wreath. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get my zip tie, and I'm going to zip tie this together like this. Move it up a little bit. It's down a little too low. And I'm going to turn my zip tie around so the part that I cut off is in the back. I'm going to make it a little tighter, and I'm going to take my scissors, cut that off, and then this is the petal that we'll have. So let me show you again. We'll take our mesh, the rounded side up. We're going to meet in the middle, and we're just going to gather it. I guess is a better word than scrunch it. And then you have this bow tie, and then we're just going to take it and we're going to fold it up, and we're going to put the one petal over top of the other like that, so it looks something like that. And then I'm going to take my 8-inch zip tie, and I'm going to zip tie it together. Just like this. I'm going to turn my zip tie around to the back, and then I'm going to pull it a little tighter. Okay, I'm back, and I've got all of my petals made, and I'm going to start attaching them to my wreath frame. And if you remember, I told you that this wreath frame is from the Dollar Tree, so it's a little different than the wreath frames that you get from Hobby Lobby or craftoutlet.com. So it's a box wreath frame, but it only has 3 wires, not the 4th one. So I think that'll still be fine, and I still think that our wreath will look pretty. We'll just end up putting maybe 2 rows going around on the plastic grid. But anyway, and also this would normally, if this was an 8-inch wreath form from one of the hobby stores or one of the craft stores online, it would have 4 sections. This has 3, which is still fine. We'll just add, I think normally I would put 3 petals per section, but now I'm going to put 4 so that there'll be 12 altogether on the outside rim. So we'll see how it goes. I'm sure it'll be fine. We're going to start here at this second rim. We're going to put our zip tie in between right there at the bracket, and that's where we're going to put our first. Well, actually, let me see. We're not going to actually put it at the bracket. We're going to put it next to the bracket. I'm sorry. So I'm going to take my first petal, and I'm going to attach it. And we're going to put it right next to the bracket. And like I said before, you certainly don't have to make the petals, zip tie them, and then put them on. You could certainly take the petals and just, instead of zip tying first, you could just take the petals and put them on here. But this is the way I like to do it because it's just easier for my hands that way. So I'm just going to take the next petal, and I'm going to put my zip tie down, and then I'm just going to simply zip tie it. And like I said, I think what I'm going to do is I'll end up putting 4 petals per section, so I'll have 12 petals all together. So I'm going to finish doing this first first round, and when I'm done, I'll come back and show you how it went, and then we'll get on to the next row. I'll be right back. Okay guys, I wanted to let you know while I was editing my video and editing the different tracks of the video, I accidentally deleted 3 of them. So the last track that you see before this right now that I'm showing you is I show you putting the petals on, and I ended up putting 12 petals on the first row and went 4 in each section. And then the second row I ended up going above the plastic canvas and putting the zip tie on the third row. So what I did is I had the first row all done, and I went and put the petals in between the first row petals on the second row. And then for the third row, I went on the canvas and I ended up putting 6 more petals just so that they would cover the knots. So those were the 3 pretty much making most of the wreath, but you will see what the wreath ends up looking like and how I did the middle. So I apologize for deleting those things. It happened so quick I didn't even realize it. I don't have enough of the white burlap, poly burlap, to make another video. So that's why I wanted to just let you know what happened. Once I do get more white poly burlap in, I'll make another video to show you to replace this one. But for right now, I did want you to be able to see this wreath. So it's 12 on the first row. The second row is 12 going between each petal, and then the third row is 6 covering up all the knots. So I'm sorry that happened. If you have any questions about how I made the wreath or need any help, please just ask and I'll be happy to help you. Okay, you will now see the last row of petals, the 6 petals that I put on the canvas. That's where this will pick up. Thank you. Okay, so I'm back. And I did get 6 petals in the middle, and it was a little tight, so you do have to work with it, but I think it turned out really pretty. And now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to set this aside a little bit. I'm going to use, this is a half of a ball that I got at Walmart, I believe. It's 3.9 inch, half of a ball. And what I'm going to do is I have these pearls. I'm not sure how big they are, but this is kind of what they look like. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my glue and I'm going to put a little bit of glue here in the middle. Just start out with a little bit of glue in the middle. And I'm going to take my pearls, I'm just going to sit that on there, and I think that's pretty much in the middle. And I'm going to put a little bit more glue down, and I'm just going to take this and glue the pearls down. This is going to be a little hot, so oops, it's moving a little bit. So we just want to go around in a circle, and while it's still a little warm, you could still move it to make sure it's in the middle. And now it's cooled down a little bit so I could touch it a little better. And we're just going to continue to go around in a circle until we do the whole half a ball. And these pearls that I have, I got at Hobby Lobby. It's 25-foot strand for $5.99, and I got them when they were half price. So every 2 weeks, everything is half price. Remember that. So I'm going to continue going around with the pearls. And then I have I bought a bunch of these little, this was in the wedding section, and that's where I got the pearls too. I bought 2 bunches of these little blingy, diamond-y type things that I'm also gonna to put in the ball. So when I'm done putting the pearls around, I'll come back and I'll show you what it looks like, and then I'll show you how I attach the middle to the wreath. Okay, so I finished putting the pearls on the styrofoam ball, and I think it looks really pretty. I don't mind the white of the styrofoam ball showing through. If you did, you could always paint it the color of the Deco mesh you're using. Like this is rose gold Deco mesh. You could paint it pink, or if you were using, you know, a purple Deco mesh, you could paint it purple. But I kind of like the white. I don't mind that showing through. And then what I started to do, I don't know if you can see or not, is I've put in these sparkly little stick pins that have these little jewels on the end. So I'm going to finish doing that. But before I finish doing that, I want to show you how I'm going to get the center ready to put in the wreath. So what I did was I cut a piece of my floral wire from my roll. I prefer the rolls. You can buy it in a package that it's already pre-cut, but I like doing it this way. It all depends what your preference is. And I have a piece of felt here from another project that I'm going to use. So right now I'm just going to, hopefully this goes on, is put some line of hot glue here in the middle of the ball. And then I'm going to lay my wire. I'm just going to kind of bring the ends up so it's a little squared. I'm going to put the glue down in the center, and then let that fall in. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on this piece of felt, and be careful you don't burn yourself with the glue. I've done that many times. It's always good to have a little glass of cold water around when you're working with hot glue. And of course I don't have a glass right now, but so what we're going to do is just put this over the wire and stand it up and pat this down so that the wire will end up, when the glue's dry, the wire will end up standing up, and it'll be easy to put it in the middle of our wreath. So I'm just going to do this so I can turn it over, and then when I come back, there's a little bit of glue there, but then when I come back I'll have the rest of these little sparkly stick pins put in, and then I'll show you how to attach the center to the wreath. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back, and I finished putting on the little sparkly beads, pushing them into the styrofoam, and I hope you can see them. I think you can. So now I'm going to just put this back in the center. I'm going to put this in the center of the wreath. So I'm going to bring my wreath over. It just fell off. Now everything is so tight in the middle of this wreath. So, and these got stuck together here. So I hope, we'll see. Hopefully this will go pretty easy. We'll see. So I'm just going to pick up the wreath, and I'm going to try to get this. Let's see. I think we want to go over this way. I'm going to try to get this. Let me do this side first. I'm going to try to get this through. And let's see. twist these ends a little bit here so they'll go through the plastic canvas, and kind of look from this side to see where I'm at. Okay, so I finally got the center in, as you can see, and I finished the back of the wreath with my felt. I always like to put the felt on the back of the wreath so it looks finished. So I think this turned out really pretty. I'm very happy with the way it turned out. I think it's very elegant and very pretty. So I want to thank you for watching my video, learning how to make this wreath. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope if you enjoyed it, you'd leave me a comment, subscribe to my channel, let me know what you think. I'm on Facebook and Instagram with Door Decor by Laurie. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook. So I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.